Alright, what's up guys? I'm Jonathan, I'm here with LK, as usual, and we're going to be talking about a new patch for Guilty Gear Strive. It's Season 3, there's a lot of like really big major changes. People's impressions are kind of all over the place. What do you think are the biggest winners of this patch?
Biggest winners of the patch. Now that we've been playing for a day, I think Soul's a pretty big winner, now that I saw how things fleshed out. I had a feeling that like maybe it might be slightly dumb, because I felt like they were nerfing a lot of meter tools that I thought were like really important to him. Things like the 2K and different forest slash stuff, the new Fafnir, new Bandit Bringer, like a lot of that stuff looks really good to me. He's like the main one off the top of my head, outside of like obvious ones. You know how everyone's hyped for Bedman, everyone is hyped for Sin. I know Sin got a lot of like good changes. I don't know if there's like a secret one. From playing Baiken, I'm like, Baiken is crazy. I don't know how crazy he's crazy. The notes read like there was a bunch of universal nerfs, but then like playing the game, I'm like, oh my god, what is happening?
Basically, like you said, I think Soul is a really big winner of this patch. I feel like he really benefited a lot. Nago did as well.
True, yeah.
Because Nago actually got a lot of character nerfs, and I do think that the high-low thing is not that important. DP2 is maybe the only hit in Nago's entire kit that he can't combo off of.
You can't do DP2 into immediate something else? I feel like I saw a clip today of someone comboing off it.
Only on counter hit. If you get hit overhead by DP2, it doesn't actually matter that much, especially now that 6H OTG is nerfed, even though 6H has a lot of other utility. But it's more that I think the system changes just benefit him too much. I think that he benefits from Wild Assault less than a lot of characters, but doing far/2 into White Wild Assault, and then being plus if they don't mash, and then if they do mash, you just beat their mash and their DP, is actually really good. Just because he's so tanky, like he builds a ton of burst, right? And having a million burst to deal with is really good. I also think that having Wild Assault to break wall is good for him, because his super wall break Oki is pretty threatening with his positive bonus loop. You also need to burst him, and he also wall breaks off every hit. Like Soul and Nago are probably the characters that are the happiest this patch. Not necessarily saying they're the best, but I think they're a lot better off than they were.
How do you feel about system mechanics then?
They really want you to break the wall with Wild Assault. That's a big one. The red ones are significantly better than the blue and white ones because it's unreactable. The thing with Wild Assault is you want to take away burst by comboing into it, but you can react to the other two with burst. They're 20, and I actually don't know how fast the white one is, but I think it's slower than 20. I think that's actually pretty bad that you can react to it with burst. I think that's a huge problem.
Right, like a little oversight
honestly.
Even.
Yeah, honestly. Maybe Wild Assault should lock you out of burst on startup. Something like that.
Because it was funny, because the list that I made for stuff to check was mostly around like Baiken's changes and not system mechanic stuff so much. The deflect shield, I played against people who used it. Right now, to me, it looks like, hey, I heard you didn't learn how to IBFD, so here you go, kind of type of thing. But there's other use cases, because you can use it in block stun. It pushes people off even if they're using like projectiles and stuff.
Yeah, it matters for Zato. Yeah, I've labbed Aorus for Zato already. Also, with Zato, I need to lab system mechanics. He didn't get anything. He did, I'm just exaggerating. They heavily, for those who don't know, they heavily nerfed basically everything about Zato. Double eddy cooldown, half flight duration, jabs have travel time now, and Break the Law doesn't bait burst. I think that is actually the worst one, other than the Eddy Gauge one. I think that is an insane change. It has to be a bug, because it's happened already, and it was a bug, and they fixed it. All of this is basically in anticipation of how well Zato uses Wild Assault, because it's true, he does. The reason I'm saying that is because he can Wild Assault to Super Wall Break without supering, which means that a lot of his meter gain routes, he doesn't really need to do anymore. The problem with the meter gain routes is you'll build your opponent a lot of meter, and it draining burst is also good for him. In general, it is actually a really crazy change. You can also do Wild Assault into Eddy drills, but because it's 20 frames, it doesn't lock string off anything except 5H, but 5H Wild Assault is actually throwable, but people won't do that. I think Zato got really heavily over-nerfed because of that, and I think even though that mechanic is crazy for him, he's definitely like net negative this patch. I'm probably gonna have to wait for like a pretty big buff. I hope I'm wrong. Gobo says Zato's better off. That's my goat.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
No, I like it when people believe. Believe.
I would love to be wrong. I'm trying Solvanoska now because finals are in 7-8 months, and I don't see myself winning with Zato. I don't think it's possible.
Keep Zato active in case buffs happen, but there's no guarantee type angle, right?
Yeah, like I would need buffs before then.
There's no guarantee, and Zato's kind of technical too.
Yeah.
Even if you did get
maintenance.
a patch, you need like a couple months at least.
Figure it out.
What do you think is more important? Because I've been thinking about this: system mechanics or character changes.
I mean,
what
last
more
patch,
impactful thing.
Last patch, I was like, I think the game is generally in a good spot. I only have character problems. I don't have system problems. With the game, I had no major system problems with, other than like DPRC. They sure did add a lot of different system things for me to have issues with. But I think that's more of a me problem. Most of these character changes aren't a super big deal. In fact, most of them actually seem like they're in anticipation for system mechanics like Zato. Also, honestly, they nerfed Mei a lot. Not even for the new Dolphin, Hop, whatever. It's more because she's going to be able to convert with Wild Assault. That's something she's actually never been able to do. I think that's the big example, right? They're probably nerfing HDPs because of Wild Assault as well, because they're going to yield better Oki normally than SDPs. Chip 6K probably nerfed for the same reason. I do think that the system mechanics are a bigger deal when you understand that the system mechanics, the character changes are probably the way that they are because of the system mechanics.
That's an interesting perspective, I want to say. That's an interesting perspective. I felt like it was kind of a balance, kind of like you. If it looks like a character took a stray or didn't get anything, because like for example, Milia got buff. She got the Mirage buff and the Lust Shaker buff. They're relatively small buffs, but I feel like the main reason they didn't change her a lot is because of Vault of Soul. Or characters that did get a lot of stuff, like Baek got a ton of her changes don't read like she got a lot of stuff, but application wise, that's like the summary of the character. Like she has nothing and she's very simple, but everything has like a ton of utility. I wonder how they picked who gets what Wild Assault, and will they change it depending on what people end up doing with it. It's something I ended up thinking about.
I think they're going to buff the other two. Obviously, it is day one. The patch has been out for like 12 hours, but Red seems like far and away the best one.
Red is like the main one that you can actually just send it with.
I think it's like 15 or something. Like you can't combo off it from K buttons, but you can from S buttons.
And while the blue one, because
blue one's 20.
Blue one's 20, and then the white one is the one that's invincible. I mean, it is invincible. I shouldn't go like this. It's literally invincible.
Yeah, it's a frame 9. All of them are plus though, worth noting. Very notably, Zato is the only character with a command grab that got a blue one. Also, they nerfed Zato's command grab damage.
They nerfed almost everybody's command grab damage.
Not Nago.
Not Nago, not Potemkin, not May. And then like pretty much the last thing about the game is I feel like they've been working on this for a while, but you know, a lot of people are calling it like Strive Rush or whatever. You know, you start the game with 2 Wild Assaults, you start the game with 2 Deflect Shields. They're comparing it to the drive gauge of Street Fighter. Obviously, I see the parallel. I feel like people who are very like, this is what it is without looking at implications really, kind of like this type of stuff. It gives you an extra choice in a really direct way. Like you don't need to explore it really. It's just like, oh, I have 2 push blocks and I have 2. It's not drive. I mean, you could block them. I think it's a good change for now. Me personally, I'm bad at thinking about how system mechanics are going to work later compared to how character stuff is going to work later. For a character tool, I could be like, oh, could you do this? Could you do this? Could you do this? Could you do this really quick? But for like system tools, like I was super late on IB, I think, for high level NA players. I think it took me a few months, like 4 or 5 months before I started doing IB. I was late on IBFD. I was late on a bunch of stuff. Impressions of the patch, I'll call it good changes, refreshed. They picked a hype character that everyone like, it had to be Johnny or Jam. They didn't, or Dizzy. They didn't
everyone loves Johnny.
They had to pick a character everyone loved. Good job. All the menus look nice and pretty now. It feels like, and I don't know why ArcSys is so obsessed with the letter R, but it definitely feels like a new game basically to me.
And the lobby still sucks.
But they're in 1080p. They're super wide now.
Bro.
I'm starting to think that Milia is cringe. Because it's just too easy. It's too easy.
I made Sato so easy.
It's just too easy.
Yeah, boy.
For Baiken, like, people told me to my face they can't do the thing. And I'm like, that's fucking right. You gotta learn how to do it. To be a demon, you have to learn how to be a demon. I kind of don't like it when you just eat the fruit and then you're a demon. I want you to work to be a demon. Anyway, let us know what you guys think. Are you liking the patch? Do you think it's interesting? Do you see red flags? Let us know in the comment section below. If you have any questions as well, leave that in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.